Wii Party is a game developed and published by Nintendo in 2010 as an installment in the Wii series. The game has many different modes, reminiscent of Wii Sports Resort. But what's interesting about this game is that no one really ever talks about it. Like, everyone talks about Wii Play because of the Tanks minigame, or Wii Sports because of how much of a phenomenon that game was. But Wii Party is as much of a Wii game as Wii Sports and Wii Play, and no one seems to ever talk about it. So I'm going to do it. Here is Wii Party 12 years later. We are starting off with the absolute classic, that is Board Game Island. It's literally a board that you traverse by rolling a dice. It would be pretty fun, especially the fact that you play minigames after each round. It's just really held back by the fact that the game so obviously prefers the CPU over you. Like, it's insane how rigged for the CPUs this game is. If it wasn't rigged for the CPUs, which I know it is because this is the only instance in the game where I find it to be rigged, it would actually be really fun, but it's just rigged, and that makes it not fun, like, almost at all. I was very pleasantly surprised by Swapmate. Honestly, I wasn't really expecting much going into it, but the premise is actually pretty cool, and it's actually pretty fun. Especially the different types of Miis, like the Wild Mii, the Clear Mii, or the Trade Mii, adding like a nice sense of strategy to the game and actually wanting to win the minigames. It's actually a really fun game once you actually realize how to play it. And honestly, it's pretty fun. It's actually pretty fun, but I would like the option to do less than 3 sets because honestly, just doing like a really fast, like 1 set of like 5 to 10 minutes would actually be like a really fun thing to do. So the option for a 1 set is really nice because 3 and 5 sets just kind of takes too long. But other than that, really good. I like Swapmate. Spin-off. One of the lesser known modes of Wii Party, you spin a wheel, and depending on the wheel you either get medals, put medals in the bank, or play a minigame to win the medals in the bank. That's it. Honestly, there's one thing I really don't like about Spin-off, and that is the fact that the minigames, the main appeal of Wii Party, are random. Like, in something like Board Game Island, Swapmate, Matchup, stuff like that, or Balance Boat, in those, the minigames are set to when you play them, like in Board Game Island, after everyone rolls the dice, and Balance Boat, after the boat is balanced. But here, it's kind of just random when how you play minigames and when you play minigames. And I really don't like that because it's kind of just spin the wheel, spin the wheel, spin the wheel, just over and over until you hit a minigame, and then you get to play the game for like 30 seconds. And that's kind of it. I don't really like Spin-off that much. Next up, we got Bingo. It's literally just bingo, but sometimes you could get a minigame ball and you can mark off whatever you want. That's literally the only change. It's just regular bingo. For some reason, I really like this one. Like, out of all the party games, like Board Game Island, Swapmate, Spin-off, all of those, like, I specifically go back to bingo way more than I go to all the other ones. But honestly, there's just something about this one that just hits different. It's just good, man. It's just really good. This is the embodiment of the Mario Maker tag, short and sweet. Next, we have one of my personal favorites, Balance Boat. Now, the reason I like Balance Boat so much is that it's actually strategic, unlike all the other games which are kind of just luck. Balance Boat is actually really strategic, and it's one of only 2 games to feature co-op minigames, the other one being Friend Connection, which I'll get to. Balance Boat is just really fun, and like the only consistent source of cooperative minigames that actually matter in this game. I really like Balance Boat. Another thing I also really like about it is the fact that the difficulty isn't just the CPU gets harder. It's actually the boat conditions this time, which is a much needed breath of fresh air after just the 5 different CPU difficulties for literally all of the other games up until this point. Anyway, I really like Balance Boat. That's all I gotta say. Friend Connection is ass. Like, it's actually ass. You literally just get asked 5 questions, It's 2 people only, which is understandable. And if you answer correctly, like both of you, you get points. It's basically twin telepathy. And then you play one single cooperative minigame, and after that the game's over. That's literally it. This is by far the worst game mode I have seen in this game so far. Right after Friend Connection, which was one of the worst ones, we come to what, in my opinion, is one of the best ones, Matchup. Matchup is surprisingly really fun. Like, it is a lot of fun. Matchup is really, really cool. It's mostly reliant on RNG, I will say that. But it's only for the beginning section. After that, you just kind of have to remember stuff, because you and your opponent already picked Miis of some colors, and at that point, you just kind of have to remember. And it's not that reliant on RNG anymore. Honestly, Matchup is really, really fun. It's not 100% reliant on RNG, but it is somewhat, which is really nice. A nice balance between luck and skill is really necessary for a game in like a party game to be really fun. And Matchup really just does that really well. It is incredibly fun. Like, my god, it's good. Up next we have all 5 of the house party games. Now you're probably wondering, why the hell did I include all of these in one single section? Well, they all specifically have their own menu on the main menu, so yeah, that's one thing that separates them. And the second thing is I can't play them. Because I don't have a real Wii remotes, 1. 2, I don't have multiple people. And 3, they're really, really shallow. I tried them anyway as one person with 2 different emulated Wii remotes. They're shallow as hell. The only good one is Word Bomb, which is the one you're seeing on screen. Yeah, that's it. Bye. Now, I'm only going to cover the 3 unique challenge minigames. What do I mean by that? I mean minigames that aren't in the main game. So that means no Banana Blockade, no Tippy Traverse, no Clover Hunt, and no Shifty Gifts, because those are already minigames you can play in other different modes. So, Guarding Gridlock is really good, also known as the one you're seeing on screen right now. We have Marching Orders, which is really fun but can get out of hand really, really fast. It's really chaotic, I love it. And then there's About Face, which is pretty cool, but kind of wears out its welcome pretty fast. So overall, a decent selection of challenge minigames. It's just, most of them are reused. That's it. Solomode's pretty good. You spawn, you clear like 5 minigames if you're on beginner, more if you're on advanced, more if you're on expert, and then you get out of there. I like how there's a point system depending on how, depending on your placement in the minigame. That's actually that's pretty nice, and depending on how many points you have, you need to, like, win or lose. So you actually have to get first place in the minigames to actually be able to win, unlike something like Board Game Island, where it can absolutely rig your opponents, and you can just keep getting good rolls in, like, 3rd or 4th. I actually really like the incentive of getting first place and second place, which is really what makes this one pretty fun. Like, this one's fun. I like it. Battle mode is practically just a better version of solo mode. You play against, well, it's your choice, 1 or 3 other people, to see who can win the most minigames. You can play a game of 3 or a game of 5. In a game of 3, whoever wins 3 minigames wins the game. And that's literally it. It's just a more centric version of solo mode. It's more centric on the minigames. That's literally all it changes. It's fun though, because solo mode was good, and just improving on it a little bit just made it even better, obviously. What made you think I forgot about Gulptrot? Anyways, Gulptrot's okay. It's basically just another board game island, but with objectives. And instead of dice, you pick cards. That's everything that changes from Gulptrot to Board Game Island. That's literally it. After all of that, I think we can safely conclude that Wii Party does indeed hold up 12 years later. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, because it would really help me out. That's all I gotta say. Subscribe.